Hi guys, welcome to a new video. Today I am having a mental health, why is that so hard for me to say? Mental health day. And that means doing things that I love to do. And also doing things that I don't love, but that are good for me. So what I've done so far, went grocery shopping. I bought myself a salad, had a salad, ate it in the car. It was delicious. And that's about it. And now I'm in my childhood town where I kind of grew up, where my grandparents lived. But today I'm gonna go for a walk in front of me here. Oh, there's already people coming. And I'm so, do you see them? So taking the walk today is one of my plans. And also going to the mall to buy myself a coffee and a book. I want to buy myself a new book. The book I'm reading right now is this. I'm on page 33. So just started. Guys, I have something with me here for you. It's an entire freaking basket of knitting stuff. What do we have here? At first I want to show you this because I started this last week. This is a Monday sweater and I just split for sleeves. And yes, this yarn is, well, good thing you can see. Filcolana Peruvian Highland wool in the color Nougat, and 973. And yes, this was the yarn that my brother was gonna have for his zipper sweater, but his original yarn that we bought arrived, and this was just laying there, and I really wanted to try it, so I casted this on in the wait for my test knit. I had done a chart. Guys, come on now. I had made my own chart diagram, help me, in stitch fiddle for this motif that I wanted to make with some black double Sunday that was gonna go here. It was gonna say FGM, Father John Misty, because I was planning on wearing this when I go to Stockholm later this month. And I actually started doing color work. I had some talk with a conversation with Maria on how I was supposed to do it, because I've never done color work before and it was only gonna be here, so I was like, am I supposed to carry it all the way around? I did 3 rows, realized that, so right now it goes to like here. I would have continued even though I was insecure about my color work. It didn't look that good, and I, instead of carrying it all the way around, I just cut it. And I know there's probably a better way, but that's what I did. But the letters would just end out, I would want them to start like here, because now I realize that the letters would come down to like below my stomach, and then it's just not gonna work. So unfortunately I went back 3 rows this morning while watching Salt Lake City reunion. Heather, just tell us about your eye, I'm freaking out. So this is a whip. This is probably gonna be on the back burner for a while. I'm probably gonna knit on this today because I am waiting. I made a swatch yesterday for my test knit and it's drying, so I can't start it until I see that I'm at gauge. So this is probably what I'm gonna be knitting on today. And I was actually filming a lot yesterday because I had an entire knitting day, but the footage was so bad, it was not good, so that's why I'm refilming some things today. But I had a couple of things that I wanted to finish yesterday, and I did 2 of them, and that was to split for sleeves for my Monday sweater, and I did that. And I also wanted to finish my terrazzo sweater, and I did that. And it's currently drying, and I flipped it around today. This, I spilled Coke on this an hour ago while I was walking to the car. So I just also need to check and see if it's fine. It's hard to show you in the car, but this is the cardigan number 7 in a size extra small for my best friend Tilda. That's why it fits me, like I can get it on, but it's not comfortable. And modifications, straight sleeves, because she likes that. And this is drops air. You can see on my Ravelry which color it is, because I don't remember, but I'm very happy with it. And one thing I really want to get done is to do the neckline. That's all I have. I also have to sew on buttons, but I'm not as stressed about that because I have a bunch of buttons for my grandma laying at home. I'm thinking like black basic buttons if I can find them, plastic buttons. Yeah, so I'm not stressed about that, but I would love to get the neckline done. So I split for sleeves yesterday on my Monday sweater. I finished my terrazzo. I made a swatch for my new test knit. And all I have left, I guess, is doing the neckline. So I should probably do that today. instead of working on my Monday sweater, and hopefully I will. So yeah, that's what's going on. And then at home, what else? What more whips do I have? Do I have more? Yes, I have one thing that I'm making for the yarn store, and my mom is helping me with that because I took on too much already, guys. Everything's too much, so she's helping me with that. But I'm gonna talk about that more when I see if it works out, because I'm just at the start of that project, so we'll see about that. And then the next thing I wanted to show you guys in my basket, the rest that I have, is just yarn that I wanted to show you. All the yarn that I'm gonna show you now is gifted, but gifted from different people. I'm gonna tell you all about it. But the first yarn that I'm gonna show you is for my testknit, and I am ridiculously excited about this. So what I'm gonna be test knitting on for 8 weeks to come is the mamba dress by ULLEN KNITWEAR, also known as Maria. I'm gonna refer to her as Maria. I highly suggest that you guys check out her Instagram because she's just starting out with her pattern making. She's iconic. Like the dress I'm gonna make, the mamba dress, here's another picture of it. It's like, how, girl, how can you come up with something like that? I don't know. And she will also be donating 10% of all of her pattern sales to charity. So promise me to check her out and go follow her, please. I beg of you. Now, she is sponsored by Isage. I know. In her mamba dress, mamba. I'm gonna say mamba. In her mamba dress, she used one strand of alpaca 1 and one strand of alpaca 2. But we could also choose between alpaca 2 and a strand of silk mohair. And that's what I decided to do. We don't know if it's gonna work yet, but I have it here. So I chose the color 60. Just want to give you like, because it's boring when you have, I feel like I love when people show all the yarn that they have, not just a skein of everything, but everything. So that's why I brought it all today. So we got to choose which color, and I knew right away that I wanted a dark brown one. Now, this color is completely different from the website, from in real life. I'm not mad about it, we're gonna talk about it, but this is the color 60. So color 60 in the alpaca 2. Oh my god. It's 50% wool and 50% alpaca, and 50 gram is 250 meters, so quite a lot. It's fingering, I'd say, right? Yeah, it's fingering weight. And then lace weight mohair. Isage silk mohair, both in the color 60. Now this is a brown, but it's a very special type of brown. It's like a purpley brown. It's the exact color as my nails, so it was not what I was expecting, but I am definitely not mad about it. I feel like it's super cool. I know the light behind me is probably annoying, but I just needed to switch the camera. If someone walks here right now, it's gonna be awkward. I'm absolutely so excited about that yarn, and I swatched yesterday. It is currently drying at home, and I just want to go home and measure so I can start. I am a bit nervous. It is worked bottom up, and it has the cable design and everything, but I am friends with Maria now, so she can help me out during the test. So in my knit chat that I uploaded, Maria, ULLEN KNITWEAR, sent me messages like, Alexandra, I think I received the wrong yarn, your yarn. And I went to pick up my package and I had her yarn. So our yarns had been mixed up. So I received light pink yarn. It was gorgeous though. I cannot wait for her to receive it. So we decided to just send it to each other. And hers arrived in like 3 days. But it's been so much. So first of all, our yarns were mixed up. And then we decided to send each other our yarns back. I accidentally put in the wrong postal code, so it's on the way to her, but I don't know if it's gonna arrive in Portugal. And then her yarn arrived in like 3 days max. Like, it was such a quick delivery, but they had completely ripped up the package. So it was like ruined. The yarn was fine, but her pretty packaging was. It's just been so much around this. But the good thing about that is that we started Snapchatting to talk about everything. And now we Snapchat every day for this past week. And I'm obsessed with her. So that's why I need you guys to go follow her because she's amazing. Okay, so that's what I have coming up, and it's gonna be so weird to cast on so many stitches in the beginning of the project because I'm working bottom up, so that's probably like the strangest thing here. And I also just want to shout out one other person, and her name is Tiffany Lou. I think most of you guys know who she is. Typical Bliss, and she has a YouTube channel. She used to have a Twitch, but she streams on YouTube now, and she has also recently started hand dyeing yarn. She sent me a message like a month ago, and that she wanted to give me a gift card to buy whatever I wanted from her shop, and I was like, are you serious? So yeah, that was so nice of her. She did not have to do that at all. So I got to decide, and of course I chose the green color of the mohair. If I have a chance to have hand-dyed mohair, I'm gonna take that chance. Guys, are you freaking out? I'm freaking out. Okay, so we have shadow here and sunlight here, so I might have to show it like this. Girls, So this is the color Bliss Land from her latest collection. I forgot what it was called. I'm so sorry. But yeah, the color Bliss Land, and it's 70% mohair, 30% silk, and it's 477 meters. This is gorgeous green with like little pinks in it, and I have this sage green hand-dyed yarn from Frivalborg at home, and I kind of want to mix that with this, but I also kind of want to use this with the green from Knitting for Olive. I know this is going to turn into a cardigan despite what I choose to do.
I'm using photo booth. Who the hell uses photo booth? The quality, it's 2023. What is this? Honestly. Okay, just coming in because I've been knitting on my Monday sweat. Dropped a stitch. No progress. It's just funny because I edited this video like a bit last week, this section of the video, and it's so funny because ever since I received the yarn I was so sure that I was gonna make a cardigan, and I just found it funny because like 20 minutes ago I was browsing Ravelry because why not, and I came across the Wednesday sweater. I never really liked it. I think it's the twisted turtleneck. It's like the one on the terrazzo sweater, but like, why is my English messing up? It's like terrazzo on steroids. Like if Liver King had knitted a sweater. I don't know. Bettina, you know I love you. I can give you critique sometime. Oh, I need to dye my eyebrows. Okay, yes. It might turn into Wednesday sweater now, because it uses 150 grams of hand-dyed mohair. And I was like, oh, I have bought like 2 skeins of, but like 3 skeins of hand-dyed mohair is like $70. Girl, I don't have that. But then I realized that I do have 3 skeins. Thanks to Tiffany. Thank you. What the hell? So it might turn into Wednesday sweater. We'll see. I am too consumed with my testknit at the moment, so I can't even think about anything else. More on that later. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna free you from this photo booth curse. I'm gonna press a button. Bye bye.
So this is not in my yarn cabinet. This is actually, I put up a basket specifically for this because this was so sweet. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with my life. I received gifted yarn now apparently. Thank you so much. So that is currently what's going on in my knitting life. I am planning on filming whenever I feel like it, whenever I finish another project, whenever I get whatever, and I'm gonna film tomorrow when I go to Melodifestivalen, because I know I have some Eurovision fans following me. I timestamp my videos, right? So if you don't want to watch certain things, you can just skip it. So I'm gonna take my walk, show you guys around a bit, and then I'm gonna go to the mall and buy a book and some coffee, and then I'm gonna drive home and knit.
Stay awake every night just to catch one more glimpse of your skin. When I look at the way you sleep, I know I'm home.
The sun is all up in my face, but I finished my walk like an hour ago or something, maybe, and it was absolutely wonderful. I just thought I'd quickly also show you the book that I got for people that are curious. I don't know, I'm just doing popular romance books at the moment because romance books are an easy read. They're lovely, they're fun, so it keeps me reading. And I heard both bad and good stuff about this, but we'll see. I was choosing between this and 1,000 Boy Kisses, but that seemed like a novel for 15-year-olds. But if you've read it, let me know. So now I have 2 packages to pick up, my yarn, and also we got some posters that I ordered for our living room to switch out the ones I got like 5 years ago. I think my parents are gonna like them, so that's why I got them, and our living room needs new stuff. So, but now I'm just gonna listen to Florence and the Machine and drive home in the sun. Hello guys, back home, and I got some stuff in the mailbox as well. They're not knitting related, but I'm just gonna look at them because I'm so fucking excited. Here we go. This is from Norway. This is so funny because this cost me $40, and I was like, how is that so cheap? Because I thought it was a vinyl record. Later that night after I bought it, I realized it's a CD. It's signed by Florence. I had to have it. I have bought so many of these kinds of stuff. Dance Fever. Ute nu. Out now. And now that we're done with that, I am gonna show you my yarn that I've been waiting months for, which is fine because they asked me if it was fine and I said it's okay, I can't wait. But I bought this mohair. Do you remember this? Drops Kid Silk in the color Almond. So this is Drops Lima and the color Almond as well for an Ingrid sweater. Does this work for me? It's gonna have to work. I think I have 12 skeins of this. And 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 6 skeins of this. And hopefully I cast that on soon, but it'll probably be in March if that's the case. Oh, I got a little stitch marker. We want to make you a little extra happy. That's why we always send a stitch marker in your package. Stitch markers are a cool thing. It helps you keep track of rapporter, increases and where it starts. How cute. Now I'm gonna put up the posters and knit for the rest of the night. So it's later in the day right now. I actually have to leave the latest in 20 minutes. So what you saw me work on this morning was the thing for the yarn store. So I'm not going to talk more about it, but the yarn is gorgeous, right? It's gorgeous. So I think a lot of you are going to ask what it is, and it's knitting for olive mohair in the color Dusty Olive. I'm not going to get to keep that cardigan. It's a long story, but I need to get myself something in that color because I'm obsessed. You don't get it. I did something last night. Monday sweater. This is the back of it. I'm gonna show you the front because we need to talk about this. I wanted to write FGM, Father John Misty, across my chest, right? So my plan for a sweater to wear to his concerts coming up in like 10 days, no, 20 days, whatever, was to have FGM
and I wanted like a split hem, but this is the back, but it's kind of the same as the front. It's just a bit longer. So the front ended around here. So if I would have started my color work, I'll stand up just for you. If I would have used my color work and start right when I split sleeves, it would start here. It would be 50 rows, kind of like around this, not at all, but like kind of. It would end up here. And I envisioned my split hem to be around here over a skirt. It did not work. I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna make it a basic brown sweater, right? But then last night I remembered that I did some duplicate stitching, like 2 stitches. I duplicated 2 stitches on my marble sweater, but I remember the technique not being difficult. And Kalila, I'll put it up here, she made like a tooth sweater for a Twitch streamer. She did that with duplicate stitching, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna try. And I put up a tutorial yesterday, 2 of Wands, her like 40-minute tutorial. It was good. She went like, oh, I need to watch that at some point, like all of it, because it was like a lot of good things in there. But I just wanted to remember how to do a duplicate stitch and like how to work, like if you work from side to side or up or down. I ended up just doing my thing because I used black yarn. Since the yarn was black, I kind of just went over certain stitches at one point, and I did like, I went in, if it was a little gap between the back, I just went in up and down, like on that little spot. So the inside, because of that, looks like this. But also, in my defense, right, in that video she said to cut the yarn and just like tie knots, because it will stay in place, and if you weave in ends, it's already such a thick fabric and it will just end up being thicker. So I was like, thank you, 2 of Wands, I will do that. And now I started with the M. I had to start over a couple of times. So I started with the M and then I did the F.
Hello. Not funny. I'm rewatching this video while editing. I'm deleting so much, girl. Why am I holding my hands for the letters like that? Like, why am I trying to do a dramatic reveal? I'm sorry about it. I don't know what I was thinking.
You can see that it's an F, right? Now it looks a bit weird here. They both look ugly. Now it's the J that's messing me up, girl. No! The chart told me to do a couple of like 2 boxes here, but I felt like it looked weird, so I didn't do that, and I ended up with this. I completely ruined the stitches underneath here, so I'd rather have it say Father John Misty as a like a at-home sweater. I don't know if I'll end up wearing it at the concert. I don't know if I'm proud of this. It doesn't look too bad, but it's not what I envisioned. I'm just gonna continue on the body and the sleeves and then go back, because what I see right now, what I could do, middle here, it looks like they're closer together, the M and the J, more than the F. You know, the space here is bigger. So I think I'm gonna go back and make it thicker here and like go up more. We'll see. But even if I don't wear this to the concert, I'm gonna wear this in the hotel room and be just like, ee, ee. So this is what's happening with this. I just think this is so fun because this has been through a lot. It was originally gonna have the most complicated color work on top, but it ended up just being this. But I mean, as long as I can fix the J, I'm gonna be happy about it. That's this. And then I was supposed to cast on the dress tonight, my test knit. This is the swatch I made, and now I think you can see how it's more brown. Yesterday it looked very purple, and it is in direct sunlight. It definitely goes more to the purple side, but in like just regular lighting and in darker lighting it looks brown, and I like that. Okay, it's cool. It's blocked, and I had the gauge is 24 stitches, and I had that before blocking, and it's supposed to be 24 stitches after blocking as well. And I was holding my breath counting it this morning, but I have 24 stitches on 4mm needle, which the pattern calls for. And when I do a gauge swatch, like when I tested my typical slip over, for example, I had to use a DK with a lace weight mohair, but the pattern called for a fingering and a mohair and a 4mm needle, and I had to use thicker yarn and a 5mm needle to hit gauge. and I've just loosened up so much, so I'm the same gauge as Maria. Now, my rope gauge is off by like 5-6 stitches, but I asked her and she wrote in the test chat that it's fine because the pattern isn't really affected by it. And that, I don't know if I'll get a lot of filming done tonight, but I just quickly want to talk about Melodifestivalen because I'm gonna try and film there. So, Eurovision, this big music competition, right? I don't think I've ever showed you, but this is the Eurovision heart, like the logo. I'm obsessed. Eurovision is a big music competition throughout Europe. It's not just European countries. People get that mixed up. It's members of the EBU, the European Broadcasting Union. And some countries just send a song, like this is our song for Eurovision this year. But other countries like Norway, Ukraine and Sweden, just naming 3 countries, have national competitions. The people get to vote for between different artists and what song gets to win. So Melodifestivalen is 4 competitions, then it's the semifinals, and then it's the finale. Today is the rehearsals of Melodifestivalen. So the 4 competitions are in different parts of Sweden. So the first competition this year is in Gothenburg. Guys, I'm in such a hurry. I need to go, but come to Melodifestivalen with me.
Nej, men nu blir det obehagligt. Nej, det får du ta bort.
Inte samma sak. Nej, då kommer man behöva lite hjälp. Inga seriösa.
I left a bit early just so I could get home before everyone else did. The best thing about tonight was and is forever Tone Sekelius icon. Love you. By the way, brought these with me home from the floor of the toilets. Good idea? Probably not, but I'm gonna put this into my Eurovision journal. You know it's Melodifestivalen when these are everywhere. And I got home and put this on. The sleeves, perfect length. I would want it to be a bit bigger, but at the same time it would have probably been too big. But this, I made this 16 centimeters. It's supposed to be a bit longer, but my biggest worry, let's put a light on. My biggest worry was that my double chin would be pushed up, right, with this. I feel like this is the perfect length where it doesn't affect it. It's just extremely comfortable. The sleeves, I can just do this. I would wear this out as well, but this will get so much more wear than the previous version of my terrazzo did. I actually really like it. I feel very comfortable in it. I'm so excited. And even though I would want it to be a bit baggier, it would have been too big. I cannot keep hiding myself in big clothes. I'm probably not wearing the best thing underneath. I could have this over a pair of pants when I wear pants, which is never. Maybe I could just, I don't know, but I am obsessed. What I'm gonna do now, which I've been waiting all day to do, is cast on my dress and watch H3 because it's Friday and I'm so happy I made it home in time. And it's like a lot of stitches. It's the most stitches I've ever cast on in my entire life. So it will probably take a while, but I'm so excited. So let's do it. I know that I have showed you guys clips of my room multiple times before and you keep seeing it in videos, but I also keep changing little things all the time and I just want to know if you guys see a difference or not. And while I show you clips of my room, I want to
tell you guys something that I forgot to tell you. It's that Maria actually, with the yarn that she sent me for the test knit, because of the mix-up, you know, she also sent me extras because she had a couple of skeins laying at home and she's a minimalist. She doesn't want a big yarn stash. And I said, yes, please send me it. And it's all isager, which is absolutely insane. And she left this cute little note that I keep with my cabinet. The first yarns, Jensen and Twini. They are more rustic, so I'm probably gonna make pillows with it. That's my plan for now, because it's the most gorgeous basic colors. Love it. Then silk mohair in the color 0, such a beautiful color. And then 41, I'm obsessed with this blue. Also this blue in Highland wool and marline might become pillows as well, not sure. Alpaca 2 in the same blue and gray. God, I don't even know what to say. They're perfect. The colors, love them. And the same colors in alpaca 1. And I might use them together with the alpaca 2 for something. Not sure yet. And what else do we have? Right, EcoSoft. I have used this yarn before and I love it. And I love the color as well. And then some spinny that she had unraveled a project with. So they're 2 strands together. And thank you so much, Maria. This is all of it. You did not have to send me all of that. So thank you so much. I'm very comfortable right now. I'm in the corner of my couch. I think I'm gonna finish this video off and maybe post it today if we're good sports. We'll see. I have something to show you, which is my test knit, because I've been knitting on it. And I've also been knitting a bit on my Monday sweater and the thing for the yarn store. Ooh! I can't see if you can't see. It's obviously dark yarn, but here we go. It's pretty. I stopped knitting on it last night when I ran out of the alpaca, like the first hank of that yarn. So this is how much one hank of alpaca 2 is. And then I started on my second skein of mohair around like here. I don't know why that's interesting, but maybe it's interesting for some people. In the beginning, I timed myself approximately, and around like here, a cable row, which you do quite often, took me around 35 minutes. It goes by much faster now, and not just because you learn the chart more, because now I don't have to look at the chart. I know now, you know? But also because the more, when I was like down here, you didn't have much worked up, so you knitted kind of more tight because it felt so small. But the more it's working up, the easier it gets. And also just seeing the progress, I don't know what's happening with me, but I'm absolutely obsessed. I kind of like working bottom up. No, wait, I should not say that, because I don't know about everything that's gonna come up here. The way this dress is shaped is, I've never done anything like it before. And it uses a lot of German short rows, which is fine, but we'll see what happens. One thing that I kept on repeating, I had to delete it so many times in this video, was saying that I was gonna cast on so many stitches. It was fine. What I did was just put a stitch marker every 20 stitches. It took me like maybe 30 minutes. I didn't time myself, but I was surprised of how fast it took. One thing I'm gonna say about the yarn is this fabric knitted up, it's so nice. When I started knitting, I was worried that my gauge was off, even though it was right, because it was kind of see-through. You can tell that it's very loose. It's very flowy. This is like a spring. It looks like a winter dress, right? Because it has these long sleeves, but it's actually a very light fabric, so it's totally a spring dress. I love that, because I only have super warm dresses. I have my sweater number 14 and my Sunday dress. So yeah, I'm very happy about it. So this like alpaca 2, girl, I just wish it was a bit thicker, because then I think I would use it a lot more. Do they have an alpaca 3? A thicker one? I don't know. But obviously it's good quality. I just thought I'd let you know, because it's gifted yarn and I haven't used isager like that. I've used their mohair once. One thing that irks me, and it's not just something with isager, it's something with like every yarn brand. I have not really experienced it with the knitting for olive mohair, though, but what I don't like, can you tell what it is? It's the silk strand. I do not understand. Drops and Sandnesgarn Silk Mohair does this a lot, where they keep the silk strand white or like not dark enough, which creates all these, I feel like it's very obvious in the ribbing, these white little strands. There has to be a reason, right? But sometimes with yarn brands, they have like a dark brown which has a dark brown silk strand, but then they're like dark blue has a white silk strand. If someone knows like yarn science and why brands do that, if it's like difficult to color in the silk strand, let me know. Yeah, that's the only thing about the yarn I don't like, because otherwise this fabric, lovely. Oh, ignore this. I keep my needles in here. I've been on a metal needle thing, right? Which is funny because I was a metal needle hater for so long. And I've been obsessed with Chiago specifically. Can you see what this is? I want to start off this entire thing by saying that I have too many needles. I have an issue with being a shopaholic, and I am really working on that this year. I'm always in church. I'm not always in church. I'm always in search of dopamine, and I've had an issue. It used to be yarn. I feel like I've been very good at not purchasing yarn lately. Especially last year, I really had an issue with seeing a sale and being like, I need the yarn because it's on sale. We're not doing that this year, hopefully. And this entire thing on TikTok going on now with de-influencing, I saw one TikTok about it that just really got to me. I'm definitely the person who is like, I need that. If I don't have that thing, I'm not, that thing is gonna make me happy, you know? And it never does, so then I search for something else. So the reason why I have so many needles, this is not even all of it. It has white, everything has white mohair all over it. But I had this thing in the end of summer, I think, where I bought like one pair of Haya Nova Cubics because I was like gonna try out a bunch of needles, which is good. Maybe I could do that for a video once, but it was definitely just because I wanted to have, I was in a needle obsession at the moment, and I just felt like I needed a bunch of stuff. I needed the dopamine. So what I'm trying to say is I have more than the 3 sets I'm gonna show you here. And I also have another set that I bought, but I gifted it to my mom, my Lykke needles, because I do not like them. So the first needle set I ever bought was a set of Denise needles because they were on sale and they were plastic. I finally got rid of them last year because they, obviously needles are needles. If you're on a stranded island and you only have Denise plastic needles, you're gonna be fine. But it wasn't very enjoyable at all. So for Christmas 2021, I got these for myself. This also has white mohair everywhere. This case gives me 2006 lingerie vibes. I don't know. And also whenever you open the needles, why would they put, okay, see? Why wouldn't they put that here? Girl, these are Symphony needles by Knit Pro, and if you're from the States, I think it's called Knit Picks. I think they're basically the same type of needle. They're ugly, but they're actually very good. Like the needles in itself are very nice. These are much better than the Lykke needles, I would say. Much better. Because the Lykke needles, they have this, should I go get them? I should. I know so many people love their Nykke, I want to say Nykke all the time, but Lykke needles. So obviously there's something to it, but I was one of the people who during like the first months of knitting, this was one of my goals to buy this set, because I was like convinced that these are the best needles on the market, because people made it sound like that. And then to realize these are my most hated needles, I just feel like there's a bunch of love for Lykke out there. So I'm just gonna be a voice of saying the opposite. But don't take offense if you like them. That should be all. If you do that, I don't know, girl. But one thing is that they're pretty, right? I love brown, so that's why I got these. But this is diarrhea brown. This is not what I was expecting. I thought it would be like a chocolate brown. Well, this brown is not pretty, first of all. And these needles, the needles are pretty nice. They have like, they're very waxy, I would say. You look at them and you think, ooh, my yarn is gonna, I'm not professional, wait. I don't think you can tell that they're very shiny on camera, but you feel like this is gonna be nice. Whatever, I've tried cotton with them, I've tried wool, I've tried mohair, nothing glides nicely on them. It might also be that these just does not work for me because I'm a tight knitter, because I would just get pain in my hands because things were moving so slowly. So I bought this thinking this would change my life. Because the way I thought these were the best needles on the market for how people were talking about them. And according to me, they're not. So I gifted them to my mom, but even she doesn't live with them. So I might sell it at some point, because this was something I didn't afford at the time. So I really saved up for it. And then to see that I didn't like, it was kind of heartbreaking. But I like the case. Not the brown color, but I like the case. And I just need to say this, because I've seen the Lykke Cypher needles everywhere. Maria, she bought herself a set of them, and she mentioned this in a post on her Instagram. Like, the first couple of days we started talking, she was like, I just gotta show you this. These are my Lykke Cypher needles, but they leave my hands blue. So they're made out of copper, but you need to like, they will change colors, so you need to constantly like do that. If you have like a bit of sweat on your hands or like some water, your hands will turn blue. So Maria showed me that like after just knitting a row or two, her hands were like blue. I don't understand. Why is it worth having, not having them, but like making the needles? Why would you, if I saw a pretty thing like, oh, these would be pretty needles, but they'll leave people's hands blue, I don't know. I just want to, if there is someone who was like me and had really high expectations, I just want you to look at other needles first, because I truly believe there are better ones, like the Symphony or the NetPicks one. One thing these two have in common is bad cables. Lykke came out with spin cables that I bought, and they are better, but just the cable in itself, if you do magic loop, it's gonna kink. And it's easy to just put them in warm water, but it's annoying to do that all the time. The one thing about the Symphony, I said that the needles are nice, but the cables, they will, I tighten them with my soul, with my trauma. I do. I tighten them so hard, and then like they will come undone, and it's so annoying. And then when I started getting to a metal needle thing, you obviously see that I use them. I bought the Knit Pro Sings just because they are the cheapest, I would say. Like, they're $50 for this case. And I love the needles here as well, but the cables irk me. But these are great for when I want metal needles. I actually really like these. Better than the Lykke, and they're cheaper. And for the entirety of fall last year, I really wanted the seeknit needles because everyone was raving about them, and I tried them and I liked them. But honestly, I just wanted to buy them to have them because of the reason I told you, that I just feel this need to have a bunch of stuff that I can't really afford, and it's not good. And I'm proud of myself for changing that. But I ended up ordering these for myself, and for that reason. And now here I am absolutely loving them. And it's my seeknit needles. Beautiful case. This is so nice because it's a lot smaller than you might think, and you can just fit this in your bag super easily. The cable stoppers are super cute. One of the reasons why I didn't want to buy this last year was because you don't tighten these needles. They don't have a little hole, you know, where you just screw them on. It says something that all of my projects right now have these needles instead of metal needles, because every time I've tried using my Symphony or my Lykke, I just keep switching back to metal needles because I just love how much it glides, how fast it goes by. But these are like so comfortable. Like, it's the same speed as using metal needles. It annoys me that they're so good because they're not cheap. This and Shiagu has the thing where you have cables in like different sizes and stuff, but it makes sense. It's honestly a good thing because then you get like a seamless transition. I have tried one pair of non-interchangeable seeknit needles, and the only thing that irked me about them was that at the end where the cable and the needle connects, it would be such a big difference that I would have to push my yarn. But I was so surprised when I used these needles in the same size and everything, because these don't do it, but the non-interchangeable ones does for me. When I was talking to Maria last week, she asked me like, do you have recommendations for good wood needles? Because she likes wood more, and she obviously really didn't want to have the cypher needles. And I convinced her to try these, and she got the set. And I was so nervous because I was like, what if she doesn't like them? But she loves them as well. And that's what made me like, ooh, put this on and start knitting with it again. And yes, I get the hype. So what I would say is, if I just waited a little longer and saved up to buy the seeknits, then I didn't have to have all of this. So a part of me kind of just wants to take these away from my mom, sell these, give these to my mom, so I can like borrow them. I don't really use them anymore. I don't know why I feel attached to them. And like only keep these two. So I have like a metal needle thing. Ew. Metal needle thing and my bamboo needles. But yeah, I love the cables. They're not as good as the Shiagu ones. I just find it so cool that here, you just screw them on. You see how easy it comes undone? And you just screw them on, but they will not, because of the spin cable, they will not come undone. I'm so sad that I love them, and I don't want this to be me like doing the thing where like convince you to buy, because you don't need expensive needles like this. You can use the symphony needles and get by. But if you're like me and knit every single second of the day and you want good needles and you're looking for needles, I'm just gonna give you a tip about this. My biggest tip is always to buy a non-interchangeable needle of a size that you mostly use. So for me it was a 4.5, and just try it out. But also know that there's a huge difference between the non-interchangeable and the sets. Like I said, how the seeknit non-interchangeable one kind of irked me with the cable, but these doesn't. So if I didn't buy them for that reason, I would miss out. I'll see what I'll do with all my needles. Also all these little needles that I have that I was gonna try out, like the Haya. I need to get rid of a bunch of my stuff because I don't need all of it. Overconsumption is a thing, and I'm a culprit. So yeah, it's really difficult wanting to show stuff that you got, and I don't want to give anyone the feeling right now that, oh my god, I need the seeknit needles, I need them, they're the best. That's not what the goal here is. I don't know. If anyone else watches this who relates, I see you, girl. It's not our fault. Capitalism and people trying to sell us stuff, they're the ones getting in our heads. It's not our fault. This turned kind of sad. I don't know. Now I guess before we leave, I just wanted to say that the giveaway is gonna end on the 23rd of February. And that's like when I'm gonna do the lottery thing where I draw a winner. I don't know what video I would make to just like say that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna post a YouTube community post of the winner. So on the 23rd, keep your eyes out for that. And who wins the Maricia cardigan? That was it for this video. I'd really like for you guys to tell me about your favorite needles and why, but also which needles you really don't like and why. I feel like that would be very interesting. I just find it very interesting. Everyone has such a different taste as well. So some people may hate the seeknit needles. That's why I'm not telling you to go and buy them today, okay? Good. But that's it for me for now, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.